This is going to be a short PowerPoint on test taking. Okay, so we're going to talk first about exam problematic areas that you might be experiencing. What is the problems that you face when you're taking exams? Do you not know how to prepare for the questions you're going to be asked? Do essay questions get you stumped? Do you ever run out of time on particular types of tests, or does your mind ever go blank? How about anxiety? You ever experience high demand of anxiety right before a test or during a test? Are you easily distracted by those around you or other things during tests? We're going to talk about what to do before, during, and after tests. Before taking exams, what are some of the things you can usually find out about an exam before you take it? This will help you, if you can answer this question, help you with some of that anxiety that you might experience, and also help you perform better too. First of all, you got to know what specific chapters the test is going to be on. Oftentimes instructors will let you know that, but sometimes you're not really sure. You need to make sure that you find out either by directly talking to the instructor or looking at your syllabus, find out what chapters are going to be the focus of the test. And even sometimes from there, you can even talk to your instructors and ask them if there's particular chapters amongst all of the ones that are going to be covered that you should give particular attention to. You also want to find out what kinds of test questions are going to be on the exam. Are they multiple choice, essay, matching, whatever it is. Find out what it is, then you're not surprised when you get to the test. Okay? What are some clues that you can pick up along the way during the weeks prior to the exam that something may be on the exam? If something's written on the board and it's repeated several times, there's a great chance it's going to be on the exam. Oftentimes instructors will also be particularly excited about a given topic and spend a significant amount of time on that topic. You might know that that's going to be on the exam if you see that in a classroom. The night before a test, one of the things that I would say to do, and the very next morning prior to the test, is review your study and class notes. This isn't the time to be reading the chapters. This is the time to be going over the notes that you took in class and from the textbook as you prepared for the test. Look at it right before you go to bed the night before a test and first thing in the morning after you wake up, and that will really help the information stick. Okay, right before taking a test, what should you not do the night before or the morning of an exam? Don't get together with study groups at that time to review what's going to be on the test, especially the day of the test or right before the test begins. This often increases anxiety, and it's not the time. Okay, studying late the night before and getting up extra early to continue studying, not the best. You want a good night's sleep. Again, you want to be well prepared so you're not having to do this, and it doesn't help. Okay, and rereading the entire chapters that are related to the exam, not the time. That should have been done long before that. Okay, the best way to retain information in preparation for an exam is to teach what you've learned to someone else. I can't express this enough. If you have a concept you're having a hard time with, teach it to somebody else as you're learning it. You'll know when you have it down and when you still have questions and don't understand what you're talking about. That is the way to find out if you know what you need to know for an exam. Teach it to somebody else. The day before the exam, be well rested. Have necessary supplies ready the night before. Arrive on campus with extra time to spare so you're not rushing around at the end. And get to class early and get your best seat. During the exam, practice a concept I call test dumping. Okay, for essays especially. At the beginning of the exam, write all the definitions, facts, terms, etc. that you can think of regarding the essay question on the back of the exam and leave it alone and come back to that later. Then go and answer the other questions, and you can come back to the essay at the end with all this information on the back. Okay, that's a great strategy if you struggle with essay questions. Also, carefully read all the instruction, noting the key words in the questions. Compare, contrast, evaluate, and then preview the test at the very beginning. Go over the whole thing and just see what kinds of questions are on the test. Doesn't mean you got to read every single question, but just know what's coming. That'll help you to also divvy out the appropriate amount of time for each section of the exam. During the exams, answer your easy questions first. In other words, just if you read the question, you know it, answer it. If you don't, move on and come back to it later. This will boost your confidence for the rest of the exam and help you get a good chunk of it done. What are a few rules to apply when answering multiple choice questions? Read all of the answers provided before answering, not the answer that you think is right before finishing reading them all. make a line through the wrong answers as you read them. If you read the question A or answer A and B you know are wrong, slice a line through them and read the rest of them. Okay, when you're completely guessing on the multiple choice question, hopefully that doesn't happen too much, but if you do, what are some things you should do? You should look at all the questions. You should answer all the questions if there's no penalty for doing so. Why not? You have a chance of getting it right anyway, even if you don't know the answer. Research has shown that professors are less likely to put the right answer at the beginning or end of multiple choice questions. So in other words, they're more likely to be in the middle. Again, this is if you have no idea on how to answer it. And lastly, an answer that is noticeably longer than the others may be more likely to be true. Okay, during the exams, strategies for answering essay questions, some more. Okay, so state, illustrate, and restate. Okay, so look at the text. We talked about this. You want to state your answer, you want to illustrate it, and you want to restate it at the end. A good strategy. Okay, during exams, don't spend too long on one question. Don't pay attention to others and what they're doing. If you see them turning pages, just to block that out and focus on where you're at. If you answer a question you're unsure of, don't change the answer you put down unless you're sure you found a different correct answer. Okay, during exams, if you freeze or have a mental block on a question, what do? Don't panic, just leave the question and come back to it later. Search for the answers to the questions you did not know from the other parts of the test. You'd be surprised how often that comes up. If time permits, check any errors or missed questions on the exam. Make sure you answered everything, in other words. Okay, after exams, if the professor reviews the exam in class, be sure to attend and mark the right answers as they do. These may come up on the final exam. If you find any potential problems with your exam, schedule a time to talk with your professor. I hope this helps. Thank you.